Yeah, so, when I was growing up, just a lot of different stresses in my life, a lot of different things I feel like brought me to this point. No, I'm just kidding. But what's up, everybody? We are here. I'm here with my boy, Ty, Mr. Collins himself. And I believe this is going to be a really good one because it's really close to me. I'm going to share this a little bit out in the world. If everybody's watching can share it for us, please. I'll greatly appreciate it. I think it tagged you on it, too.
On Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, on Facebook. And also, if you'd like to, you can read the comments in the bottom.
Let's see. Okay.
And then you can share. You turn the volume down, please. What's up, everybody? We are out here in Daytona Beach at the Stress and Anxiety Center. I got a lot of questions for my boy. What's up, everybody? We are out here in Daytona. Yeah, you good? What's up, bro? So, before I get into the whole stress and anxiety part of this, kind of just wanted to talk about, your life, and how you kind of came to this, deciding on what you want to do. Because, when you were growing up, did you want to do this? Or
I didn't know what I wanted to do, honestly.
That's real.
I was just living in sports.
That's real.
I had the same dream everybody else had.
So, where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, what up? BK. I was born in Queens.
Okay.
That's what's up. How long did you move until you moved down here?
So I moved to Florida when I was about 9, 10-ish.
Okay.
Right before the bad stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And it was good to get me out of there. It was a good reason, though.
Would you say like that age is like a crucial age when like people, because I feel like friends around that age are very like kind of impactful.
Right.
Like, kind of, sometimes I wonder, like, how do we even get here? You know what I mean? In the area that we are. Because they say, like, let's speak on the black community.
Okay.
They say there's, like, a lot of mental health issues there that just aren't spoken about. But do you think it comes from how we're raised? Or?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. A lot of the parents, they don't even want... A lot of it, I think, people don't want people in their business.
Yeah.
That's number one. They don't want... And it's because now people like us aren't coming into their house. People that don't look like them and people that they fear are who's coming into their house. So that's why they don't really want them around as much.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's back it up a little bit. Okay, so you went to high school out here?
Yes, Celebration in Orlando.
Okay, Celebration. That's a good school.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
That's not where we lived, but I got lucky enough to go out there.
That's what's up, man. So let's speak a little bit about your upbringing and stuff. You said you were into sports. What different sports did you play?
So in high school, I played basketball.
Mm-hmm.
My mom kept me away from football, she said.
Really?
Because my mom ran track, so
okay.
She
I remember you ran
she
track
knows
too.
How that stuff goes. I ran track and basketball.
Okay.
And that's pretty much, and cross country.
Okay, that's what's up.
And then in college, we ran track.
Nice. So me and you, we met at semi-pro with the Flagler Knights.
Okay.
And it's funny because my boy, he was moving. I remember, I'm pretty sure the very first play, you took it back for a touchdown.
The kickoff.
Yeah, the kickoff.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, this is the fast dude on the team. You know?
But you was moving for the big boys.
Hey, I was doing my little thing. You know what I mean? But we had some fun out there, dude. First year program. We went far, man. What do you think about, like, so that was the first year for Palm Coast. Were you with the Wildcats or whatever?
Yeah, that was actually my first, the first year you played was my second year playing at all.
Okay.
So Wildcats was a different type of team, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you think sports, this is something that I've been wondering about. Like, what do they say, CTE or something like that? Like, trauma to the head? I've been playing football since like freshman year of high school all the way up like 4 years into college.
Right.
I feel like that's a lot of like head trauma. And like I said, I've spoken with different people who say like depression's real, depression is not real,
right.
You know what I mean? Or like anxiety. I feel like anxiety is kind of hard to explain. Is there a way you can explain what anxiety is?
Well, I mean, everybody deals with anxiety differently.
Okay.
So it's like you said, it's hard to explain per person.
Okay, yeah.
Per situation.
Right.
Per environment, per everything.
That's real.
You know, and how you deal with anxiety is also different than everybody.
Mm. So you probably, you gotta like sit the person down, analyze, see what happened to them.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, a person that's raised up in a whole bunch of trauma and ongoing issues versus somebody that lived up in a calm environment, they don't have to deal with any issues. Mm-hmm. They're gonna deal with things differently.
That's true. Like, so pretty much just put myself out there a little bit. When I was 15 years old, my dad passed away. You know what I mean? But he was like older and stuff. And it's like, I'm gonna tell you, my dad passed away when I was 15 years old. Rest in peace, Morris Robinson. But like, he was 77 years old when he passed away. He was 62 years old when he had me.
Right.
And that's just in its own thing, you know what I mean? But like, you know, when I was maybe say 10 years old, 11 years old, I remember going to my mom and crying and being like, yo, I learned in school that the average black male life expectancy is like 72.
Wow.
And my dad's 72 years old.
And it happened.
Well, at 77. But from 72, I had anxiety, like, every day, just like, is he going to be alive? Is he going to be, you know what I mean? Like,
because that's what she was told.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like that did kind of mess me up some, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't even know how to explain it, because even now, I'm always like on the like defensive. I'm always like waiting for stuff to happen, you know what I mean? Anticipation. And I feel like that brings on anxiety.
But that's kind of a trigger that you have because of that situation.
Okay.
You know? But you being older now, you can look at it at a different outlook.
Right.
You can look at how you did when you were younger versus compared to now. Don't have the same mindset about it. Especially if you know that that's affecting you like that.
Right. That's true.
Because you're pretty much figuring it out on your own, but you need somebody else to tell you sometimes.
Right. Okay. That makes sense, because
on
on your own, you kind of just walking in the dark and stuff like that. Might need someone to like hold your hand.
It's kind of like that confirmation.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, I went to a therapist one time with an ex-girlfriend, and we were talking about anxiety and stuff like that, and she was like, have you ever heard of Xanax? I was like, are you for real? Like, I don't know if she's in the wrong or if she's in the right. I don't know, but I mean, I have friends who abused Xanax, and one of them committed suicide. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Rest in peace, Eddie. And that's a trigger also. Like, I don't want to do Xanax. You know what I mean? But is Xanax, like, I feel like it was meant to cure anxiety and depression. But what do you
That's on paper.
And it also sells a lot.
Right, and drugs can be used in so many different ways.
That's true.
You know, it's kind of like, what are you using it for is the main reason.
Okay.
Or the main cause from it.
Right, so do you...
Because if he might have... You don't know what the situation is when it passed. Right. You don't know if he was drinking and using it. You don't know if he was using something else.
True.
There's a lot of factors that play into it.
That's true.
You know, so it's hard especially from the outside looking in. I don't know anything about that situation. It's hard to say what it could have been.
Okay.
You know, because I worked in substance abuse and people are mixing.
Yeah, that is true. Like, might be smoking, drinking, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
shoot, everything.
Damn, that's scary, man.
Because the original fix is not working for them now, so then they seek outside of it.
That's true.
Sorry, they try to add to it.
I'm sharing this to everybody that I know. Everybody who's watching, if you could share this podcast for me, I greatly appreciate it. So, okay, that anxiety, not anymore, but I'm gonna speak on in the past. Let's go like 3 years. Let's go like back to when I was 16 years old. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, when my dad passed away, My mom started working a lot and stuff like that, so I pretty much was like kind of free to do. My brother was at college.
Right.
Like, I started smoking weed, you know what I mean? And it didn't help. I guess it like subsided, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But then I feel like that was kind of like a crutch. Every time I had anxiety, I would go to that.
Right.
Every time I'm stressed out, I'd go to that.
Right.
Like, you know, they say there's medical reasons for marijuana,
Right.
but maybe drugs in general, like Xanax, marijuana, like, do you think it should be used every time you have anxiety? Do you think you should try and fight it yourself?
I mean, you really have to be able to, like you said, you're using it as a crutch, but you really have to be able to deal with the issue regardless. You
Right.
have to be able to express and get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, because you're holding it in.
Okay.
You know, and that's what you're using to suppress those feelings. That's really all it is.
That's true.
Because if we didn't keep you calm and
Mhm.
give you that I don't care
Yeah.
feeling, you wouldn't do it.
That's true.
You're
Mhm.
doing it because it's giving you something to counteract what your issues
Escape from reality
Right.
somewhat or something like that.
are. And everybody has their own different way. Yours might be weed. Somebody else's might be
Drinking.
Right, drinking and
Mhm.
process, anything like that.
That's true. That's
But
true.
everybody has their own ways of doing or dealing with it.
Okay. So, you know, as somebody who, okay, I'm getting too ahead of myself. Let's move back. So, let's get into your experience in helping people. So, you went to Bethune-Cookman?
Yes,
Yo, Hail Wildcats.
all day.
What's your degree in?
So education for
Mhm.
my undergraduate and
Okay.
master's in social work at UCF.
My boy got his master's. That's what's up. So going through the education process and stuff like that, do they have you like sit in on different things with people and like?
And internships and
Yeah.
stuff like that, yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
How long did you have to do that for?
2 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Not anybody in particular, but you see obviously a wide case of like people who aren't that, and then you see some really, really, really
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like. How you feel about bipolar?
Now, let me give you an example. Now, a lot of people consider the whole stress and mental health as all crazy people, and
Mhm.
that's not the case.
Okay.
You know, you could have a bad day and you're depressed.
Yeah. Okay.
You could.
Okay.
You can get in a car crash and then now all of a sudden every time you see a car that looks like the car that hit you, you have anxiety.
That's real.
Or your tires flat and you have anxiety. It's definitely the crazy people that they're saying are the ones that are usually locked up in the institutional hospitals and stuff like that. You're not normally going to see those kind of people.
Okay.
Because they're there for a specific reason. They can't interact with the population the way that we would like them to appropriately.
Okay.
Just like in
Right.
school, those kids that are develop
Mm-hmm.
developingly
Okay.
challenged.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
They are held. They're not interacted in every classroom.
Right,
They're,
that's real.
they're held separately and they're held together so they can control it.
And not to like keep them away, but because they have special needs.
Right.
Okay.
Those classes are usually smaller.
Mhm.
They usually have more than one teacher.
Yeah.
You know, they move at one unit
Mm-hmm.
because they have to be so-called controlled.
Okay. All right. So you're saying like it might be like a 10-year-old with a 15-year-old in the same class or something?
They don't. The ages they don't have that. They're not that far.
Oh. Okay.
You still have your elementary side and your middle school side and
Okay.
your high school side, and then they try to break them up accordingly. They don't
Okay.
usually have older people with the young ones.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because sometimes with my anxiety, I'm like, I'm bipolar.
Right.
I'm depressed. What's those people that say they have everything? That's me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I get like a bump, I got cancer. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I'm just like a weird I'm not, alright, I don't want to call myself weird. I'm just like, I don't even
You're
know.
overthinking things at times.
Yeah, and that's another thing. A lot of people are like, John, you overthink things. But it's so weird, like, and I'm not trying to say I'm super smart or anything, but like, it's like a superpower. It's like, you ever seen Superman? Like, he grab a door and just break the door off? You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like, you know, okay, so in critical thinking, it's cool that I overthink things.
Right.
Or on the football field, it's definitely good that I overthink things.
Right.
I'm thinking 2 to 3 seconds in advance, you know?
Right.
and cutting off plays but in the real world, a lot of people are like, John, you overthought that. You're overthinking this. I'm like, I don't know how to cut it off.
Right, and that might just be you. You might not need to cut it off.
Do you think, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but do you think I should like separate myself from those people who kind of want me to underthink things?
I think you really need to take a step back and really understand yourself first.
That's real. That's real.
Because once you figure yourself out and you go through those transitions, then you'll know who you need to cut off and who you don't need to cut off.
Okay.
Because then you'll know what vision you're moving with and what direction you're going.
All right. So, I'm going to get a little bit dark, guys, but stay with me. Stay with me and understand that I'm just human. You know what I mean? But, like, you know, sometimes people say something slick, I just want to like punch them in their shit. You know what I mean?
I got the same way.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's me. You know, when you're like, you know, you gotta take a step back and think about who you are. You know what I mean? And then I kind of try and like mask that. You know what I mean? Or like people may do something to me, and I want to do them savage. You know what I mean?
Right.
You may do a little thing to me, but I just can't take it. You know what I mean? Is that me?
Well, how old are you?
29.
Okay. So you've been through those times and experiences where you know when and when not to lash out, and when and when not to really take your anger out on those people.
I used to lash out, and people kind of look at me differently. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, John, like you just smacked that person in the face in the middle of school. You know what I mean? Like out of the blue. Right. But the person just like said I got big ears or something. You know what I mean? But I just want to let you know that if you say anything about me, you could get slapped across the face.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're not gonna like it in any type of way.
Right.
So I don't know.
But in the adult world, it don't work like that. You can have those views, but you're gonna be in jail.
Okay, that's true. I was about to say it kind of does though. Like with our president nowadays, you know what I mean? Like,
you want to slap him, but you ain't gonna go slap him. And if you do,
no. I mean like somebody will do something, and we'll drop the mother of all bombs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just, I'm like, yo, like this dude talks shit, touches women, and becomes president. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
but yeah, it's kind of double standard too.
Yeah,
because you can't do that, and I can't do that either.
Right? You know, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I guess it's like, who am I? Or it's like on the inside, I knew who I am, but there's definitely like a storm brewing. Sometimes there's great days. Right. Sometimes it's real stormy. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's life. Is you're gonna have to continuously adapt to different changes and different ways of thinking. Mm-hmm. Your way of thinking at 29 might be totally different than next year. Mm-hmm. I know mine from 2017 and 2018. It's totally different.
Thanks. It's just a constant growth.
All the time.
Constant growth, because like fast forward, like 4 years ago, my brother passed away in a car accident, and like. It really, really hurt me, you know what I mean? But like my mom, she's older, she's in her 70s. Like, that's like a whole new thing. Like, man, she's at this age, and that's a new kind of depression, you know what I mean? Like, so it makes me think like, dang, this stuff goes on like your whole life. Like,
how do you still feel about that 72 thing? Because you said your mom's getting up there too, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit more like prepared now, you know what I mean? And I've had more time, like, it really fucked me up with my dad because, like, we didn't even really have, like, the sex talk, you know what I mean? Prom, homecoming, none of that. Like, he didn't want me to play football, and then he allowed me to play football. He introduced me to Coach Allen and stuff, and then, like, in between my freshman and sophomore years when he passed away. Okay. Freshman year, I played freshman football, but then I did pretty good. Sophomore year, I played varsity. And I started on varsity my sophomore year, you know what I mean? Like, and I wanted him to be there. He didn't get to experience none of like actual Jonathan Robinson. Right. It was just when I'm a kid, I feel like we don't really have personality too much then. Right. Kind of like groomed by our parents. Right. Until we can actually become who we really are, you know? Right. But yeah, so my mom's older, like, it's funny. I did like a secret podcast with my mom, you know what I mean? Okay. Just like, and like, this is kind of sad, but, you know, not even an if, but, you know, like when, whatever, you know, don't like to talk about it, but I'll have something to look back on. We've had these conversations, She gave me a lot of good wisdom. We talked about her when she was in her 20s and her 30s, different problems she went through, money woes, guys abusing her and stuff.
Right.
Like, these are things that really can help me out, you know what I mean? And I want my kids to see, and their kids to see, like, I'd love to see something from my great-great-great-grandma, you know? Like an interview with her.
Right.
And I feel like everybody, y'all should really sit down with your parents and grandparents and just talk with them. Videotape it too. You don't got to put it out on Facebook. Just videotape it for, trust me, you're going to want it 20 years from now. You know what I mean? It'll make you cry and just, but so that's my way of kind of dealing with it, you know, but it's definitely like something in the back of my head, you know?
Right.
But
you're doing things differently than you were before.
Right.
So you're already
I'm building
learning
a bigger relationship.
You're already learning from your past experiences, because you most likely you wouldn't have had such a strong bond, as strong of a bond, if Dad was still here.
That's real.
Because you would have probably been having those talks with Dad.
Yeah, me and him were really close.
So for me, like, I'm lucky enough to still have my parents.
Right.
So I don't wait. So for example, even though my parents haven't passed, I still take experiences from people like you and some of my past clients when their parents did pass away. So really pay attention to my parents.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to wait till one of my parents die to now get close to my mom.
Right. You know, and not speaking about anybody in particular, but I have some people who are just like, you know, they may or may not speak to their parents and stuff, which I understand because they've been through some things, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I just want to let them know, like, I can't speak to my dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I cannot pick up a phone and call heaven. You know what I mean? Like, people make up with their people after 20 years, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? It's like, dang, like, yo, it's done, deleted. You know what I mean? Like,
no option.
None. You know what I mean? Like, my brother on some sad shit. Like, I call my brother's phone sometimes, like, hey, this is Matt. Like, bro, that shit's crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, yo, people be fighting with their brother. I'm like, I wish I could fight with my brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I try not to put that on people because they've been through different things than I've been through.
Right.
But I try and just let them know the finality of death. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, sometimes people, they have to go through their own struggle to understand the same feeling.
Right.
That they don't have that same feeling or understanding because they didn't go through what you went through.
Right.
A person that gets in a lot of fights, they can say, yeah, this is how it works.
Right.
But if I ain't never been in no fight before, it don't matter. I gotta see for myself. I can train you all I want, but until I get hit, I gotta be able to take a punch. I gotta be able to do it on my own.
So staying on this subject, kind of, I'd like to ask you this question, like, about death and stress and anxiety, because I'm sure a lot of people go through this, but I've actually had people be like, man, like, nobody's really passed away in my family, you know, which is cool. Or, like, they haven't really had friends who passed away, you know?
I mean, I've been lucky.
Right. Like, the same time that, like, my dad passed away, I had a friend, rest in peace, Teddy Gardner, that's my boy. And we were in class together, in math class, you know? We go home for the weekend, and then we come back, and they say he died in a car accident. I'm like, what? And then, like, the rest of the school semester, just this empty seat next to me, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, it messed with me. And then my other friend committed suicide. And then my roommate in college, rest in peace, JP, Jason Pruitt. Like, one summer, I come home, I went to school in St. Louis.
Okay.
I come home for the summer, I get a call from his cousin, because, like, I used to hang out in the city with him and stuff. This dude, like, there's a drive-by in front of his mom's house, gets shot in the chest and gets killed, like, in the middle of the day in St. Louis.
Right.
And then I gotta go back. We lived in an apartment together. Like, I have to go back and live there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they just put another roommate in there.
Like it was nothing.
And I'm just like, you're not JP. Me and my boy Av were like, you're not JP, you know? Hey, shout out to Marcus from Oakland, too. We fuck with you, but you just weren't JP, you know what I mean? It was just... Do you think that's affecting me?
I mean, everything affects you.
That's
everything
crazy,
is going to affect you negatively and positively. It's kind of how you react to things now. You're old enough to, I don't have to really tell you that experience makes a big difference.
Right.
Because you already know.
Right.
And a lot of those same questions or questions you're asking, you really already know the answer to.
Well, this is kind of the answer. I think, like, me personally, and this is just me being negative, I kind of feel like I'm a little bit like broken, because those experiences are there and they're never gonna go away, you know.
Right.
And like me being an overthinker and kind of I don't want to say intelligent, but I'm not slow, you know what I mean?
Right.
I appreciate the gift that God gave me. So like my memory is very vivid, you know what I mean? Like, I found my dad.
Right.
I was home alone. I had to call my mom and I had to call 911. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he had a stroke, and I don't know if people know, but when you have a stroke, like half your body's like melted. Like, it was like, yo, I'm not trying to make fun of my dad, but like Two-Face, legit, like from Batman, Two-Face type shit.
Right.
And it's scarred in my face now. You know, it's like, you know, I have a girlfriend, and shout out to Shree, love you, babe. And like, I just try not to just like, you know what I mean? Put these things in the relationship.
Right.
But I feel like it's just me.
But have you ever really expressed yourself to anybody about those things? Like, have you really let it out? Or is it still built up in you?
To a point. Like, okay, let's get a little bit dark again. Like, I've seen other people dead after that, and it doesn't affect me anymore.
Right.
Like, death does not affect me. My brother's gone, my dad's gone. I could take somebody's life. You know what I mean?
Because you're numb to the feeling.
Right.
It's kind of like the person in the hood. Gunshots to them is like,
right.
It's nothing.
Right. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I'm like, you know, I'm not a gangster by any type of way or anything, but you know, like, say when girls date gangsters, like, it's kind of like dating like a mass murderer. You know what I mean? Like, he's psychotic. You know what I mean? Like, because there's some dudes who are okay with killing, and they've killed some people, and they're kind of crazy. You know what I mean? But some girls date themselves. But I'm not saying I'm a killer or anything, but I could be a little bit crazy. You know?
But that's only because of what has happened.
Right.
So, for example, Jordan, he might have not made it to the place that he didn't if he didn't get cut. If he didn't go through those struggles,
right.
Those things are made to make you stronger.
Right.
You know?
That's real. His dad passed away too, like in the middle of everything.
You know, and that might have pushed him.
Mm-hmm.
He might have not had that push to really go out there if his dad didn't pass.
That's real.
Things happen for a reason.
That's real.
In some way or some sort. We can't really explain it. So it's like, what you mean? I just got my foot blown off. How is it for a reason?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. I feel you.
It's tough to explain, and each situation is always going to be different. But how you portray your own feelings and your own bias, that's not fair for you to put how you feel onto somebody else. They didn't do those things to you. They're only there for you as a support. A girlfriend is a support.
That's real.
So you treating her as if she's the one or problem for the reason that happened. It's not fair on her.
Right.
Because what if she did the same thing to you?
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you.
What if she treated you like her ex-boyfriend or her ex-ex-boyfriend because of how they treated her?
I feel you, because I definitely wouldn't like that, you know? And it's like her and I, we spoke on triggers, you know what I mean? Like things, like you said that, like, so it's like if somebody's like...
But you have to identify them first. Once you identify them, you know how to deal with them or how to minimize them.
Like, okay, I'm going to give you an example. Like, and my mom's probably watching this. This isn't a shot to my mom. But when I went away to college, like, the phone calls got less and less, you know what I mean?
Right.
Until there was a point, I was in a completely different world.
Right.
Like, Palm Coast, I couldn't even remember what it was like to live in Palm Coast. I lived in St. Louis for 5 years, you know what I mean? So it's like, when I come back, you know, like, I'm like, a lot of people think I'm a very social person, but I'm a very, like, I'm okay with being by myself, you know? Like, I was in a one-person dorm. It was kind of like a jail cell a little bit, you know? No TV, no internet, you know? I kind of just, like, meditated to myself and stuff. And, you know, now if people are like, John, if you do that, I'm going to leave. I'm like, leave? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, yo, I ran up without anybody, you know what I mean? But I shouldn't be like that. But...
Well, would you want to go back to getting all sensitive and emotional about everything?
What do you mean?
you still have that love and that feeling inside of you. You just don't allow it to come out.
Okay.
You're kind of like blocking it, like, nah, I ain't catching no feelings for you right now. I already know how it go down.
I feel you.
I've been in the game long enough. Nah. But once you pass that, you've been with that person long enough, and those feelings continue to build, then you can't control those feelings. Then those feelings are where, like, all right, babe, I do love you. I'm not an affectionate, emotional person, but shit, I can't control these. These are new feelings.
Okay, yeah.
You can be built back up. It's kind of like that mold. Once you have a set mold, so if you're doing the same thing for 10 years, that mold is solid. But if you start to cut at it and change it, it can be fixed into a different kind of mold. It just takes time.
Do you think there's any like exercises for like anger issues?
No, so when we, because you're talking about coping. So when it comes to coping, everybody has different interests. Everybody has different things that make them feel good, and that's where I try to have them focus on is what makes you feel good. For me, music. I feel if I'm in a bad mood, I could just turn on some music, put in some incense, get in a jacuzzi. I'm okay.
That's what's
up. Everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah, that's not my.
Some people go to the beach. We live 10 minutes from the 10 minutes from the beach. Go to the beach, relax. Just sometimes you need to be by yourself.
That's real.
Because sometimes you have to figure yourself out because you know yourself the best.
I like driving on the highway.
My motorcycle, I like getting on a motorcycle, going fast. It feels, it's exhilarating for me.
I guess that's that like escaping from the world type thing. You know, I do like being at the beach also too.
But it's clearing your head because it allows you to clear your head. It just allows you to just think without any outside.
That's real.
Distractions.
That's real.
You know, and what you do is because what you're doing is you gotta replace the negatives with the positive. So if somebody's an issue for you and you cut them off, that's now a hole or void in you. So you have to replace that void with something positive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or something of that sort.
Everybody, we're deep in it. This is some really good talks. If everybody watching could please hit the share button for us so we can reach more people. I'm really feeling like a better person already just from this info that we got going on. I'm gonna read a couple of the comments, see what people are saying, because I know a couple of people got some questions. It is made by man poison, but if it's made by God, it's a gift. Damn, this guy's good. Does he know a man named Sid Noel?
I think I do. Let me look it up. I think he's from Brooklyn. He might know my mother.
That's what's up. John, same here, bro. Lost my dad and brother, plus multiple people. I'm completely numb to death and have been for a while. That's real, bro. It's scary, dude. Like, and I think that's why I'm such like a passive person. I try not to get into fights and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because
But you're really not a passive person. To them, you're a passive person.
Right.
But real behind closed doors, you're a beast.
When I'm on that football field.
But that's the real you. You're just you just don't show it in all aspects.
Right. I'm literally. It's crazy, you know. I don't play football anymore, so I'm saying like I tried to hurt people on the football field. I tried to hurt people, not like tear ACLs and stuff, but I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can. You know what I mean? Like I might even uppercut you underneath your football helmet. Stuff like I was just an angry person. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
I mean, but you're gonna go through different transitions. So your high school transition is different than your college transition. Your college transition is different than your almost 30 now. Once you turn 30 and things start to change for you, whether you can control it or not, you're gonna have to go through another transition.
It's true.
You know, right out of college, trying to find a job, trying to just had a baby.
Right. My anxiety that I have right now is my brother passed away when he was 29. He didn't get to be 30. I'm about to be older than my older brother.
Right.
Like, and it's so weird. You know what I mean? Like,
but you can look at these things in two different ways. You can look at it and get down on yourself about him not being here, or you can also look at it on the good side and say, man, I've actually made it. I've made it to this age. What can I do now? What can I do to make him proud? I know he's looking at me. So it's ways of looking at things.
That's
so
true.
Those same ways that you think it's an issue, we're making things an issue. We're making it. Nobody else is saying, All right, your brother. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else is putting that mindset in your head. Mm-hmm. It's more of you are making it a negative feeling. So you can have that same outlook, but in a positive way.
That's true.
And if you do that, it's hard to say to do that for everything. It's going to take time. Mm-hmm. You will, if negative people don't start to at least chop at it, don't have to do it right away. I'm not saying just stop it all together.
Right.
But certain things that you would be negative about, either don't say nothing at all, or try to say something more in a positive outlook.
That's the thing right there. That's a good point right there. You know, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. But then, you know, there's people who
need that negative, but
not even that. They want me to open up. You know what I mean? They may want me to express my feelings, you know? And then I'll express my feelings and it'll make them feel some type of way. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, now I have anxiety about expressing my feelings. You know what I mean?
But if those are the people that are asking you to do that, then they have to be able to take what you can give.
I feel that.
And you knowing, now being almost 30, mm-hmm. those people that you know you can't speak your mind to without them feeling a certain type of way, mm-hmm. you already know that.
Okay.
You already know that's what they're going to do. You know they're going to get in their feelings.
Okay.
You know with your girlfriend, certain topics are going to make her mad.
Okay.
You know don't go there.
Fair.
And if you do, it's on.
That's real.
It's on. You can't do nothing. You brought it up.
That's real.
So deal with the fight.
That's real. Man, that's crazy, dude.
And I'm not saying cut these people off. But
yeah. But just understand the situation that you're in.
But I have, you know, I got fraternity brothers, mm-hmm. millions of them. Mm-hmm. If every time I call you it's some bull crap, every time we speak it's some drama, mm-hmm. yeah, that's not the trend. That's not the lifestyle I'm trying to live. So I'm not going to continue to do that. I'm not saying I'm not going to check up on you, mm-hmm. but those things will continue to be more distant. If you in town, hey, how you doing? But
right, yeah.
If you're always
that's
on
real.
a different outlook.
That's real. Yeah, that's real, man. And you know, separating yourself maybe from boyhood friends who might not be on the same tip as you,
or motivate them to do better. Mm-hmm. I got friends from home. They still in there. They're mm-hmm. still there, not doing nothing.
Yeah.
They see me doing. I'm not saying I cut them off, but they see me doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So maybe eventually,
yeah,
they hit me up. I say, yo, man, you could. I try to give them some motivational talks or whatever they want. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll do. Maybe they'll leave home. Maybe they'll leave the nest.
Yeah.
You know. Then we can be friends. But while you staying at home with your mama, I really ain't got nothing to say to you.
That's real.
Not at my age.
That's real.
30.
That's real. That's real, man. Definitely, dude. So, what does Ty like to do, in his free time? Not even stress-wise or anything, but just getting to know you more as a person. What do you usually do in your free time?
I'm active. I just like to be active.
Okay.
I'm always taking my kids, when I say kids, the mentor kids.
Okay.
To different events.
I do see that. That's tight, man. We're actually going to set something up. We've been speaking this into existence for a while, but we'd like to get the youth involved in different tech and stuff like that. So we're going to fly the drone around and stuff like that, try to get them interested in different things like that, you know. That's really tight, man.
So, I mean, outside of that, I like to work out. I like to change it up so it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
The gym, you can't stop the gym. The gym is a gym, but you can play basketball in the gym. You can go mm-hmm. swimming in the gym. Mm-hmm. You can do boxing. I do the boxing every once in a while.
Okay.
I got my motorcycle, so I ride the bike every once in a while.
Motorcycle's dangerous, man.
But those are those people they're going inappropriate speeds. They're driving all crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You know,
That's true.
I go when it's not. If I'm going fast, it's late night. Ain't nobody out there.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
It's a few of us.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of stuff. So.
That's real.
I like to travel.
Nice, dude.
I like to travel.
Where do you think's your favorite spot you've been to?
Yeesh. I don't know. I've been a lot of places. I do want to go to Africa, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to go to Africa. And I know the tourist place. I want to go where it's...
Yeah.
I want to go where they...
I did the DNA thing. I don't know how true it is, but it said that I'm from Cameroon, Africa. So that's my number one spot. Mm-hmm. Number one spot I want to go to. Mm-hmm.
I really want to, because some of my kids, they go over there on these little retreats and stuff like that, and they help them out. And I've always wanted to go. Mm-hmm. I think I want to do that. That's something I want to do. That's on my bucket list.
You been out the country?
Definitely.
That's what's up.
You got your passport?
I do have my passport.
Okay. Passport.
I've been to Mexico.
Yeah.
I was at Niagara Falls and I stepped across the Canada line. I don't really count that, but
Okay.
I did. I was in Canada. I also, where have I been? I've been to Cayman Islands.
Been there.
Yo, shout out my boys out in the Cayman and stuff like that. But yeah, the Caribbean's cool, but I'm looking to hit like, you know, Europe, Africa, like you were saying and stuff.
Places
like
that the cruises can't go.
Right, you know what I mean? Because like Florida and cruises, they're cool, you know what I mean? But you're also like stuck there for only a couple hours and you got to dip, you know what I mean?
Right. You do, what kind of excursions do you do?
Man, I'm a history buff. I love history. So like when we went to Mexico, I was like, we gotta go to the Mayan ruins.
Okay.
Like that's the type of shit, and they have like the 4-wheelers and stuff going on around there. And then I kind of want to like learn about the city, or I want to go to like landmarks and stuff like that too. Like in Key West, the southernmost point of America, you know, stuff like that. You know, Niagara Falls. Just I like doing that kind of stuff. What about you?
Yeah, I've done that. I've been on cruises so many times, and now it's just like, let's go to the beach, let's go to the casino.
Yo, I know people who've been on so many cruises, they don't even get off the boat anymore.
Well, I ain't get down there.
Right, they just be sleeping stuff. I'm like, yo, for real?
I'm getting off the boat.
Right.
Even if it's just for a few minutes, I'm getting off the boat.
Definitely experience that, you know. I heard somewhere that like different parts of the world kind of like opens up different parts of your brain. Do you think there's any kind of truth to that? Like, you know, people who travel, they have like a broader thought process. You
because they're seeing more things and they're being open to different experiences or different environments
and different people and stuff like that. And cause
so I would say yeah. Okay. I would say yes, because until you see something with your own two eyes,
right.
I can tell you all day. I can tell you can open a business, black man or not. But you got to do it.
That's real.
You have to actually do it on your own to really be like, okay, I have a business. Okay, this is my LLC. Okay, I have a tax ID number.
That's true. Definitely, man. So speaking on like, let's say our community right now, what do you think is the state of, because you know it's hard to put all black people in one community, because you do have rich successful black people who are maybe 1 or 2 generations removed from the hood, you know, like I'd say I'm 1 generation removed from the hood, because my parents lived in South Jamaica, Queens, like right down the street from like 50 Cent and shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, so shit, like there were shootings on our street. That's why we moved to Palm Coast, you know? But you know, a lot of people don't know that, and I didn't really grow up in that. I have family members who did and stuff like that, so I'm a little bit, but and then you have people who are in the trenches now, you know what I mean? But let's just speak on the black community, what I would feel maybe like 60% of them who might be impoverished or medium income and below. What do you think is like the mental state for us?
There's so many different examples I can give you. Some of them, they're just stuck in their ways, and their mom is like that, their grandma's like that, their great grandma's like that. They don't know any different, and they don't. Sometimes change is harder to do than to just stay where you're comfortable with.
Okay.
You know, so if everybody that you see, all your friends' mama, all your friends' daddies, if they all in the hood and they all smoking weed and they all selling drugs and they all, that's what you feel. Yes, fighting, shooting, girls. If that's what you see, that's what you are expected to do in this society, because that's what everybody ahead of you is doing. If the people that you're looking up to are drug dealers, that's what you want to be.
That's real.
You know, and it has to be somebody else to come from the outside sometimes, because sometimes your circle, if everybody in a circle, y'all all doing the same stuff, y'all don't know nothing different.
That's real.
So sometimes you have to have somebody else come in the middle, and be like, and give you a different outlook.
It took me going to college to kind of just like, wow, this is different. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you, St. Louis, it blew my mind, because I can honestly say this: there's no city in Florida that's a black city. You know, like Miami is like a Cuban city, Spanish speaking, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Fort Lauderdale, kinda. Cause like, you know, there's a lot of Jamaicans, Haitians, Caribbeans, whatever island you're from, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I still kind of feel like, and this is it might come off racist, I don't know, but like the white people still run Fort Lauderdale, you know what I mean? But like St. Louis, they got like a black mayor, like, man, I go in a bank, everybody's black. I go in a grocery store, everybody's black. I go to, all the police officers are black, you know what I mean? Like, even in Ferguson, like, I was around that area. I had a girl that stayed over there, like, most of the police officers are black. I was kind of surprised when they said it was a white cop. I was like, I never seen a white cop out there before like that. Like, I'm just like, this just changed my whole aspect on life. I was like, wow, this is crazy. But, you know, we don't really get that down here. And it's like out there, I kind of almost feel like, you know, I've experienced racism, but kind of subtle racism. You know what I mean?
Right.
But out there, I just feel like black people are just like accepted. You know what I mean?
Wait, in St. Louis?
Yeah. It's just like, you go to a bank, and you can like talk to them comfortably, you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know, I just felt kind of like different, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear what you say, because Kissimmee now, when I was growing up, or Kissimmee, Orlando, mm-hmm. It was majority either black or white. Mm-hmm. And now it's a lot of Spanish people, and they've kind of taken that area over.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely know from there compared to here. Mm-hmm. I know Daytona, I mean, the mayor's black. You know, so mm-hmm. Daytona is a predominantly black area, mm-hmm. but then you go 15 minutes that way or 15 minutes that way, mm-hmm. and it's white again. Right. So, mm-hmm. you know, I definitely hear what you're saying on the differences, but I feel that you got to get to the point that it don't matter where you go. That's how I feel now. Mm-hmm. I will go into a black grocery store, mm-hmm. white grocery store, and I'll look at them the same, and they better not look at me any different, because I'm going to look at them crazy, just like they look at me crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Know? So you got to get, I feel like, now I don't even look at that crap no more. I hold myself to a certain standard, and it is what it is after that.
That's real, definitely. How do you feel? Okay, I'm gonna ask a 2-part question. First part is there a situation with black people and the police? Like, obviously people are getting killed. Is it maybe like pushed and shown to us? Is it, or is there like, like a serious thing going on? And I feel like there is like a underground black versus white war going on. But I want to know what you think.
I think that's never going to go away, the under the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think everybody's a little bit racist.
I agree.
You know, you always want your culture to do better.
Right.
You know, and if it's not your culture, then it's in competition.
I feel
somewhat competition.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
You can have friends that have competition. Me and my friends have competitions of who's doing, you know, but it's a healthy competition.
Right. You even have your neighbors like their lawn's better than mine.
Right. Mine's cut the next day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. But the black and white, that's not a healthy competition. It's a hostile competition.
It is.
And I don't really see that going anywhere right now. But things are changing because America now is not America 10 years ago.
Right.
You know.
You know, something that I think about. I don't know if it's true or not. And we got about 30 more minutes here. But, yo, Rocky, what up? STL in the building. How do I put this? I feel like, us as humans, we are kind of like, what's the word? Microorganisms in a way, like a bacteria. Almost like a cancer to this planet, you know? Like, if this planet was a human, there's white blood cells, red blood cells, bacteria, all this, you know what I mean? Okay. Now, on a scientific level, and I'm not being intentionally racist, I'm just speaking on what I've observed, you know what I mean? So when a black person and a white person have a kid, the kid's black. Whether the white person wants to call a black person, you know, back in the day, there was that 1 drop rule. If you had 1 drop of blood, black blood in your body, you're black. You know what I mean? So off rip, if they have a kid, they're black. So it's like, I almost feel like white people have to stick together, and it's subconscious. It's a nature. It's a biology thing. They're trying to survive as a race.
Right.
And I'm not even mad at that.
Right.
I'm not mad at that, because just through sheer numbers, they're just diminishing, and it's just happening. Unless a white person has sex with a white person, the numbers, I feel like the population of white people are going down, you know what I mean?
Because everybody's mixed.
Right, and like there's laws being passed, there's this going on, there's black people, there's cops just killing black people, a lot of black men incarcerated so we can't have sex, you know what I mean? And I feel like these are just like subconsciously, I'm not saying people are doing it on purpose, but subconsciously trying to protect their race from being exterminated. And I'm just like, dang, like, if the black race was going through that, you know what I mean? I might be kind of scared.
I mean, but the same transitions they're going through, we are too. Because if there's no more white people, then there's no more 100% black people either. Where our percentages are going down as well.
That's
true.
If
they're mixing.
Okay.
If they're mixing with us.
That makes
we
a lot
mixing
of sense.
with them.
That makes a lot of sense. They may be darker, but it may not be black.
They not full white, but they ain't full black either.
That's real. That's real. Drake, Logic, J. Cole. That's crazy. I just found out like 2 days ago J. Cole was black and white. That's what's up, though.
I mean, and it just really, honestly, it's not even going to matter in a few years. It's
really?
not. It's really, the transition isn't going to be able to be reversed.
The transition isn't going to be able to be reversed. What do you mean by that?
So pretty much, all these negative things that are going on right now, they're being heightened because this is kind of a resistance. This is the thing that you just said. They know that it's happening, so this is their resistance to try to keep it from happening. But there's now the wave is too big. It's not just black people.
Yeah, it's like
it's minority in general.
Yeah,
take
Spanish, LA.
It's either it's not just black people. They're going against everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
So and you having white people that are on our side as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not much that they can really do. They do have the higher up power,
right?
But even some of those people are
switching.
They're switching. Yeah, they're either passing off or switching their mindset.
That's
because
real.
for them is money. It's really about business and
that
money.
Black dollar.
But for them, it's the white dollar.
Okay, yeah.
So them being able to coexist with us is going to have to happen in order for them to continue the money.
Okay.
So they have to. So the ones that don't, they're either going to fall off or they're going to get overpowered eventually. Not right now.
Okay.
We don't have enough business owners in power on our side. And I'm not saying black as in ours. Ours as in everybody.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have enough people of power to overtake that. Okay. Not yet. So, I mean, we're going to continue to go through this back and forth, but, I mean, it is what it is right now.
That is true.
But those negative things that are happening they're in a result of what's going on. But it's a resistance, but it's something that they can't really stop.
Okay. So, as for, like, say the youth that you teach and stuff like that, like, what do you think are some careers that the black community doesn't really get into that probably this is a good time, like maybe like tech and programming and stuff like that? Like, I feel like, you know, a lot of people, I've even had like exes and stuff be like, when I have a kid, I'm gonna put a basketball in their hands when they're born. It's like, I get it. Right. You know what I mean? But like, what else can we put in their hands when they're born?
Business. They need to understand business, money, value of money.
Okay.
You know, how to grow their money without having to work 100 million hours.
Right.
You know, they have to be able to own something to really have control. Because if it ain't yours, it's somebody else's, and that means they can tell you what to do with it.
That's real.
So right now, a building like, okay, I technically rent a building space, but if the landlord is like, yes, I have a contract, but outside of that contract, they're in control. Right. Until I own my own building,
that's real.
I'm still having to I'm still under control of somebody else.
That's real.
I could leave, and open up, but then I have to go through all that bull crap
with someone else who
right, and then they still don't. You know, so we have to grow in our knowledge of education, not just education school-wise, but education business-wise and family-wise, family dynamics and growing.
Okay.
Because even me now, as a business owner, I still can't. They still try to tell me no on loans, and I got over 700 credit.
Dang. I was just about to ask you, like, how important do you feel credit plays in the black community? Because I know a lot of people. Okay, I'm not gonna say a lot of people. I have a couple of friends who have like 100 grand cash. You know what I mean? But they've got it doing illegal things. But I'm like, damn, bro, you could have stopped at 50 and been to $1 million by now. If you would have utilized credit, loans, buying a house, you know, leveraging that house, getting some more loans off of it.
They got to get the loans, though.
Okay. Do you believe they don't give loans based on zip codes? I've heard some stuff on that.
I won't say that they don't give you loans based on zip codes, but I know that the pricing and how they work, how things work, do. Because my Geico insurance from when I lived in Ormond compared to Daytona is a big difference. Living in Daytona is higher because I'm guessing the crime rate is higher.
Wow.
The
accidents.
Accident rates is higher.
Okay.
The people that live in Daytona are less in value than in Orlando.
That makes not
Orlando, Ormond. You know, and so I know for sure that's facts.
Right.
That's facts. My price went up. So that's facts.
I was just meaning, like, you know, I watch a lot of documentaries, but they're on YouTube, so I take them with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? But they have these things where it's like, you know, you go to some of these banks, and if you say live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, compared to living in Park Slope, Brooklyn, you know what I mean? They might accept the loan, or they'd be like, nah, we're going to deny that loan because nobody in that area ever pays their loans back or stuff like that.
I mean, so I won't say that the area once again, but if you are, they look at your income, they look at how much debt you have, they look at your credit score, they look at all of those big things. So regardless if I live in Hokapokee, it don't matter if I have $100,000 of profit on my business brought in, my credit score is over 800, and I'm on all good standings with my credit.
Okay.
It would have to be a big issue or a real reason for them to tell me no.
That's real.
It still happens.
Yeah.
It still happens, but the area really shouldn't matter. But sometimes it does.
Right, that's just what we gotta live with, man. So, let's see what this. Look into Bank of America's settlement for loan discrimination. They look at your skin. That's crazy. I'm definitely gonna look into that. But
yes, but
you can also counteract that.
There's a million people that's saying I didn't get a loan. I could have 20 loans. I could have 20 lawsuits right now if that's the case.
That's real. So they could say it's because of their skin, but it just doesn't always have to be because of their skin.
There's so many loopholes, and being on the business side now, I see or speaking to people on a higher end, and they tell me all the.
I will say this: it's funny because me and my homeboys, we got a thing called the friend credit. You know what I mean? Like, we make bets together. You know, if you don't pay your bet, like, bro, your credit score's going down. I ain't making bets with you in the future. You know?
Right.
I might, you know, hey, can you let me borrow this? You know what I mean? Or I'll pay you back on Friday when I get paid. You know what I mean? You pay me back on Sunday. Okay, we're cool. Your credit score went down. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
You might get a smaller loan. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like real shit. Like, let's say Joe Schmo comes in my office, I'm gonna critique him too. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna critique him on his skin color, but we are gonna jump through a lot of hoops if you want to ask me for 50 grand. You know what I mean?
You ask me for $100, I better know what's going on, you know. I'm not critiquing. So it's their money. It's their money. You can't really tell them what to do with their money.
That's real. You don't gotta go into that bank.
Go to another bank. They're not giving it to you.
That's real. That's real. You know, I say that sometimes too because I'm like, racism is 50% of the other people, but it's also like we got our hand out. You know what I mean? Like, why aren't they giving me money? You know, it's like, let's call LeBron James. Ask him for the money. Right. Now, if he don't give you the money, what are you gonna say?
You're going to say the same thing.
You know what I mean? What are you going to say?
You ain't even going to get a response.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I definitely get it, and there is, but I'm tired of asking white people for stuff. That's why I got my own bank. And I'm not even saying I hate white people, but I'm trying to counteract what I'm hearing, what my people's saying, and I'm trying to, like you said, be an inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I started my own business. You know what I mean? Like, I got people hitting me up wanting to do drone work. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not asking nobody's permission for nothing. You know what I mean? I got a loan for my OG. You know what I mean? Paid them back plus interest, just like a bank. You know what I mean? But it was only like $2,000. I paid them back $2,500 in like 2 months. But that's the same thing.
Right.
We don't need a bank. Like I said, I got homeboys who got 100 grand. I can go to them. I just got to have a good credit score with them.
Right.
You know, right. I've always paid them back on time, so we're good. So
But there's for every one person that is paying back on time.
Yeah.
There's 100,000 people
yeah,
that ain't.
Yeah.
You know,
that red line is bad.
I got fraternity brothers that pay me back right on time. I'm gonna pay you back Friday. Friday they hit me
Thursday
up.
sometimes.
I don't gotta ask them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got other ones that it's like I'm supposed to still be around you.
Yeah.
But know you owe me money.
That's the thing.
But you's partying and buying stuff and going out and turning up, and
But if I act different, I'm fake.
I'm fake. So for me, it's like I just know better, and I don't want to lose a relationship over $100 or $200. It's not that serious for me. If that's the person that you want to be, just know you gonna need me before I need you.
That's real.
So you ain't getting no more money out of me.
That's real.
So when something really big happens or something like that, I can't help you.
That's real, man.
I can't help you.
That's real. Man, I really appreciate everything that we've talked to about here. You guys, you really need to come see my boy. You guys really, like, if they were to say, come see you, how would that work out in the beginning? Do you have, like, maybe a trial where you guys have, like, a 10-minute talk, see what it is that they need? You have, like, a pricing plan that you guys...
Well, usually I speak to them over the phone.
Okay.
So they would call, and I would speak to them over the phone and tell them their situation.
Mm-hmm.
We take insurances just like any other big time.
Take insurances, y'all. That's big. Because when I went to counseling, AmeriGas, they did have the program in my insurance. They covered that, which was awesome, dude. I had 5 free sessions.
Right.
We only made it to 3. Anyways.
But usually that's because a lot of people don't want to go to see a therapist because, like I told you, once again, you're not getting me most of the time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're getting usually a white person, usually somebody older.
Right.
So
that's
for
real.
guys,
I feel like she didn't really care.
You have to be able to relate at some point.
That's real. That's real.
I have people that just like you. They sitting on my couch, but they're country and got boots on, and same way you're sitting on the couch. Somebody that has a Confederate flag on and stuff like that can be sitting right in here.
That's real.
You know? So for them, they still do the therapy. We still get along.
That's what's up.
But for them, I might not be a good connection. They might need to be with somebody that is more in tune to what they believe in.
That's real.
So for our community and our culture, we don't want to go to something that we don't feel comfortable in. So we have to have more people like me to be able to be in front of you guys, because then you'll be able to. I can understand you better than somebody that has no clue of where you came from.
That's real.
Same education, but different backgrounds.
So, is it like you said, case by case? Do you have like 30-minute sessions, hour sessions, or
usually 30 minutes to an hour?
Mm-hmm.
And we take insurances, but we often take self-pay.
Okay.
You know, so the self-pay those a little bit different. I try to work with people and stuff like that.
That's what's up. Working with people, man. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, last thing. Maybe can I just get a piece of advice that you can get to the beautiful people listening about what's like the one piece of advice you can say on stress and anxiety?
The one piece for stress and anxiety. The more in tune that you are becoming with yourself, the better that you will be for everybody else. So if you know that you're having stress, seek advice about it. Learn it. Look things up. We have Google nowadays.
That's
look
real.
it up. See what symptoms you have. See what's happening when you get angry. See who's making you angry.
That's real.
See, those are the things that you have to focus on, because then you can minimize them. Some things you can't get rid of. Family, you can't really get away from certain people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to deal with it.
That's
if
real.
if you're in a crappy environment, look and see what you can do to either get out of there or stay inside until you can get out of there.
That's real.
There's ways to minimize issues. You're not just stuck and dead in the road. It's not stuck in the mud in a flat tire. It's not like that.
That's real,
Life
man.
can change. If you don't like your situation, you have to take a step back, look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, family, love life, social media. Look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Look in the mirror. You might be the reason why you don't have that job.
It's true.
Because you came in there looking crazy.
That's true.
I got friends that say, "Oh, give me a job." What? What?
Right.
You crazy?
Right.
I know you.
Yeah.
I know what you do.
Right.
I'm not putting my business on the line for that.
That's real, man.
I've
That's
given
super
friends. I have I have different connections. So I've gotten people or friends jobs, and they've. So
Yeah.
now it's like, yo, you're not messing up my name.
That's real.
I gotta
man.
really know you know what you're doing.
Especially, I've heard, like, let's say you're on that first level. You get knocked down, all right, cool. But I'm telling you, man, like, and I'm not trying to say I'm a millionaire or anything, but bro, when you spend a lot of time climbing up that ladder and you're up this high, I can't afford to let someone knock that out from underneath me, dude. That's a long ass fall, dude.
I'm not going back there.
And we're only here for damn near about 90, 100 years, if that. You know?
that.
Like, it's crazy, dude. But, bro, I really, really appreciate this, dude. You made me feel better already, like, I feel like I owe you for this. I'm just going to flood you with Coast Gear, dude.
You're good.
I'm going to flood him with Coast Gear, dude. But everybody, can y'all follow my boy? What's your name on Instagram?
Instagram, Mr. Collins.
At Mr. Collins? Let me see.
M.R.Collins.
Yo, M.R.Collins. Need y'all to go follow my boy on Instagram. Yo, I'm telling you, like, that's a stress reliever for me. Some of the stuff you post, like, you become what you surround yourself with. Energies are contagious. Choose carefully. Your environment will become you. It's like, it's just so real, man. You just get people to think, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm glad you took your time out to meet with me, bro. I really appreciate that, dude. Definitely, dude. Everybody, hit up my boy. Just have the consultation. Even have one meeting with him. Trust me, you're just going to really look at your life differently. You know what I mean? Like, you need to go into the hospital even once a year just for a checkup. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to come to therapists even if it's once a year for a checkup. Because people are kind of just like nobody wants to get the AIDS test because they don't want to even know if they got it.
Right.
People don't even want to know if they're crazy or not.
Right.
They just want to walk around here like they're not crazy and stuff like that. But everybody, appreciate y'all tuning in. We out of here, y'all.